Hi, Phyllis here from southernfrugal.com. This morning we're going to make some more pita bread. Now, the last pita bread I made, and I posted that video, some of it I made smaller and it didn't turn out as good. Still tasted good, but it didn't look as good. So this morning I'm going to make some more, and I'm going to make them all the same size, and I'm going to make them a little bit larger than the last ones. Alright, so let's get started. First thing that needs to be done is I've measured out 1 teaspoon of sugar, and in there I'm going to put 2 teaspoons of yeast. And I do keep my yeast in the freezer. And this was purchased from King Arthur. And I took it out of the bag it was in and cleaned out a peanut butter jar, and I keep it in my freezer. And I only get usually one of these a year. Alright, so to the yeast and the sugar, we're going to add 1/2 cup of water that's at about 100 to 110 degrees. And just stir that around. Let it dissolve a little bit. Dissolve that sugar. And now we're just going to leave it sitting here for about 10 minutes and let it get foamy. That's going to show that the yeast is very active. You don't have to get it dissolved completely, but just stir it around a little bit. Alright, we'll be back. Alright, our yeast has foamed all up now, and it's ready. So this was 2 teaspoons of yeast and 1 teaspoon of sugar and 1/2 cup of warm water, or at 100 to 110 degrees. Got another whole cup of water, and it also is warm to 110 or 100, between 100 and 110 degrees. Alright, now I'm going to use some of this gold medal flour. Last time I used the King Arthur. This time I'm going to use the gold medal that's made especially for bread. Alright, so we're going to measure out 3 cups of this flour, and it is all-purpose flour. Well, it's not really all-purpose, but it's not self-rising. Alright, so that's 2. There's 3. Alright, we're just going to make a little well right in the middle of that. I'm going to pour my yeast right in the middle of that. Get me a spatula and get every bit of that out of there. Alright. Now we're going to add 1 teaspoon of salt. Sprinkle that in. And then go ahead and dump the rest of your water right in the middle. Now, time for the hands. I'm going to mix this all up. Now, last time I fixed the pita bread, I made some of them smaller because I was trying to make them, about the size of a hamburger bun, and some of those didn't puff up the way they should have. So this time I'm going to make them all the same size. Now, we have decided we love the pita bread. It's so much better than loaf bread. So today, we're going to have some fish sticks, and I'm going to fix those in the pita bread like a fish sandwich, kind of like you would get at McDonald's. Alright, now we've got a very wet and moist dough here, and we'll add more flour. And I'm going to start kneading it. Now, you want to knead it until it's not sticky anymore. So I've added probably another half cup of flour. And just keep turning it over. Add a little more flour. I'm going to knead this for about 10, maybe 15 minutes, and we'll be back. Okay, I forgot to add my olive oil. I want 2 teaspoons of extra virgin olive oil. So I'm just going to pour that out in my hand. About 2 teaspoons. Just mix it all in. Now I'm going to add more flour and I'm going to get on with the kneading. We'll be back. Okay, I have completed kneading my dough, and you want to probably add I think I've added another whole cup of flour as I was kneading it. And you want to knead it till it no longer sticks to your hands, okay? Alright, now in another bowl, I'm going to put down a little bit of olive oil in there, a teaspoon or so maybe. You want to rub that dough around there until you grease up the sides of the bowl. And then just flip it over. Make sure it's good and greased. And we're going to cover this and allow it to rise for about an hour or until it doubles in bulk. Alright, we'll be back. Alright, we are back and our dough has pretty well doubled in bulk. So I'm going to take the saran wrap off of it. I'm going to be rolling them out with this little PVC roller. Alright, I'll sprinkle some flour on the board. Actually, this is my cooktop, but it's got plastic all over it because it makes cleanup a lot easier. All right, I'm just going to dump that out. Sprinkle a whole bunch more flour over it. Just kind of mash it down, get that air out of it. It like feels alive. Alright, now I'm going to divide it, hopefully, into 10 little sections, hopefully all the same size. I think I'm just going to use my scissors. So, now do I want 10 or 8? I'm not sure how many I want. There's a little piece I need to take off. Alright, why don't we start out and just do 4? Well, I'm going to do the knife. I can be better at dividing it. Just cut it. Alright. Okay, I think that's pretty even, so I'm doing it 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This side's a little bigger. Didn't get it exactly, but that's good enough. Alright, so now I'm just going to clip those in 2 with the scissors. By the way, we love this homemade pita bread. It's so much better than what you buy. Oh, it's just a difference in night and day, really. It's a lot easier to cut with the scissors, I think. Okay. We've now got 10 somewhat equal sections except for this little one. So what you want to do now is get you some flour and just kind of form a little ball. Just kind of pinch it together at the bottom. Put some flour down on my board back here and I'm going to just line them up. Okay. So you want a smooth top on it as much as you can. Just pinch the bottom together. There's my ice maker right on time. Alright, there it is. This one was a little too big, but we're going to use it anyway. So I'm going to form a little ball. And last time, those that I did, listen to me, those that I made smaller did not turn out well, I didn't think. The bigger ones turned out fine. So this time, I'm making them all bigger. So we should have 10. Again, you want the top smooth. So just pull it around till you get to a smooth place. Put a little flour on it. And then just pinch the bottom together. Form a little ball with a smooth top on it as much as you can. Alright, coming right along. Just pull it up and pinch the bottom together where you've got a smooth ball. So whatever you need to do to turn it in to make that ball smooth on one side. That was my ice maker again. I don't know, it seems to know when I'm recording because it always dumps the ice. Alright, smooth ball. Alright, got 4 more to do. So you want to just stretch it around till you come to a smooth place. And then just pinch the bottom of it all together. Alright. I mean, once you have these homemade, I mean, you just can't have the store-bought ones anymore. You really can't. These are so much better. And by the way, I'm really thinking I'm liking this gold medal flour. It just says on it, better for bread. And I'll have to say, it is better. Now, it might not be better than the King Arthur for bread, but they don't sell that in the Walmart I go to. They also don't sell it in the Bi-Lo or the Piggly Wiggly, so I don't know where I would get it, but I have tried that King Arthur for bread, and you know, I do remember it being good, but this seems to be better. It's got a lot more gluten in it. You can tell that because the flour rises a lot better with this, and that's what holds everything, holds all those little bubbles in, is the gluten in the flour. That's the thing that'll stretch. Alright, now for our final one. Just come to a smooth place on it, wherever you can find it. And just keep pulling it around. And then pinch it together on the bottom. Got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 equal little balls down here. And we're just going to let them just sit right there. Now only one is bigger. The rest of them are pretty much the same size. Alright, so we're going to let this sit here. These little round balls, we're going to let them sit here for about 15 minutes. Then we're going to start rolling them out. And in the meantime, I'm going to preheat my oven. This time I'm going to do it at 500 degrees. We'll see how that turns out. All right, we'll be back in about 15 minutes. Okay, my little pita dough has been sitting here for about 15 minutes, and I'm going to roll it out now. And I've got my pan heating in the oven. So I'm going to roll this out. By the way, you need lots of flour. So I'm going to roll this out to about 1/4 of an inch thick. And I think I've got room for 2 of them on my pan. Alright, there's one. I'm going to roll out another one. Coated with flour. Trying to keep it in a round shape if I can. This one looks kind of square actually. Alright. I'm going to go get my pan out of the oven and I'll be right back. Turn this up so you can see. Alright, be right back. Alright, I'm going to throw these over on my pan now. Alright, in the oven they go for 5 to 7 minutes. We'll be back. Okay, they puffed up perfect. So now I'm going to take them off this pan quickly. Put them on a plate. And cover them up with a towel to get them to deflate. Now I can see that my pan is pretty well covered with really brown flour. So what I'm going to do the next 2 on aluminum foil. Alright, there we go. I'd already rolled these out. There we go. Again, the oven's at 500 degrees. Alright, when these 2 get done, we'll be back. Alright, here's the next 2, and they turned out well too. Now, in my oven, it works out a lot better cooking them on the baking sheet, but also putting tin foil on. So now these 2 are also going to be covered up with the others, and these still have not completely deflated. Just cover those up, and we're ready for our next 2. And I've already rolled these 2 out. I'm just going to plop them right down there. Again, using the tin foil seems to work better for me. Alright, I'm going to cook the rest of these. I've got these 2 and 4 more to cook, and we'll be back. Alright, I have cooked all 10 of the pita bread dough. I had one that didn't really puff up, and then I had the smaller one that didn't puff up completely. But, as you can see, all the rest of them did. Now, I think this one puffed up enough that I can still get it in, cut a little hole in it and still use it. But all the rest of them puffed up, and they're still puffed up because they're still really hot. So I'm going to cover them up and, let them deflate. All right, we will see you next time. Homemade pita bread, second try.